Hi everyone, I'm starting a video in the evening, which is sort of unusual for me, but I was doing some baking and I thought I could catch you up on a few things going on with me. So I have some ginger tea, and it's been a kind of a tough week. We had daylight savings time, which kind of makes you feel sort of discombobulated anyway. And then this week I actually had a bit of a contusion because I fell down some stairs, and so far so good on getting better, but I'm just really sore. And then Friday, tomorrow, we have our wine club meeting, and it's a special St. Patrick's Day themed meeting, and we're doing beer. I'm bringing a cider and then also a beer. So let me tell you what I'm going to be bringing. First of all, Boddington's Pub Ale. This has the nitro cartridge in. You can probably hear it kind of clinking around. So a little bit of ASMR. And then to kind of break up the monotony of having beer, and since we're in California, a lot of them are going to be IPAs. I'm not a big fan of IPAs unless they're a hazy, but I'm bringing a cider, and this is Sincere Cider. It's a nice dry cider, and I like the green for St. Patrick's Day, and it's a fairly new cider on the market. I'd really like to try this in a snake bite, which is a drink I tend to get when I am at an Irish pub. And you basically layer cider, a dry cider, with lager in a glass, sort of like a black and tan, and it's very refreshing. So I think this is going to be nice for summertime. So considering I am not feeling 100%, I'm going to take it easy tonight, and I wanted to bring a nice snack or dessert, but I'm going to practice a little kindness with myself and just make some brownies. And I'm going to be making Ghiradelli Brownies, and the Ghiradelli chocolate shop or chocolate factory is in San Francisco, and I actually went there on my birthday, and you can follow the link below or in the upper right hand corner to see that video. And these are good on their own. Typically when it comes to brownie mixes, my mom and I both add a lot of other ingredients to make them a little more interesting, but there's chocolate chips in already, and I think I'm going to add some walnuts just to add a little bit of crunch. And I kind of like the bitterness of almonds in a brownie, just because brownies can be a little bit cakey and cloying and sweet, so the walnut kind of balances things out. So let's make some Ghiradelli double chocolate brownies. I measured out the liquids. This is 1/3 cup of vegetable oil and 1/4 cup of water. And I'm gonna crack 1 egg into this measuring cup just to make the cleanup slightly easier and not mess up a whole bunch of bowls. Little stirring ASMR. Oh, ignore the writing on the back of my hands. I write numbers from the data during the day on my hand. And some walnuts. This is probably like, I don't know, 2/3 of a cup if I had to guess. Some to put in the batter and some to sprinkle on top. Okay, I like a variety of sizes just to make it more interesting. And then the next step is to add the brownie mix and then the liquids to it and stir it up. Gosh, I hope I have enough room in this bowl. This is a lot of brownie mix. And I'm using the 8x8 glass pan, which requires 43 to 48 minutes of cooking, but it doesn't say anything about spraying it, but I might spray it just as an extra precaution. Usually when you buy Ghiradelli chocolate chips, just in the bag, they're really big, but I noticed that these are like a normal size chocolate chip, and I actually like how their chocolate chips are larger when you buy them, but and I don't think they're gonna miss it if I eat one. It's good. Okay, liquid into dry. And yeah, you don't want to over mix it because that creates a tough brownie. I'm also gonna add the walnuts with the exclusion of a few for topping. And I would say one of the first mistakes when it comes to making a quick bread or something like a brownie is over mixing, because then you develop the gluten in the flour, and gluten is a protein that is very chewy and rigid, and it creates a very tough baked good. So you do want it if you're making a yeast bread, because that creates the air pockets and the structure. But in this case, I'm only going to mix it until I don't see any more dry ingredient. And I'm just using a fork. My mom always used a fork. I just find it to be such an efficient tool. And I'm bringing the mixture up and over to fold. And we are nearly there. See a little bit of dry right there. Gotta make sure to kind of peek at the bottom. And there's a bit of dry. And that's as far as I'm going to take it because I don't want it to get tough. And I'm going to do a little spray in my pan. I've got avocado oil, which is a neutral tasting. Oh, I just ran out. Let's see what else I've got. Okay. So, switching to coconut oil. Definitely get the corners really well. And spatula. Get every last bit. Yeah. Okay. So pouring into my 8x8 glass pan. The one thing I don't like about this pan is the rounded corners, so you don't get really a pretty cut from the corner pieces. I mean, it tastes good, but in terms of presentation, I just don't think it looks that nice. But I can be a bit of a perfectionist, so I'm probably overanalyzing that. I probably could have put parchment down, but I just find that sometimes in this rounded edge pan, it can be really awkward to navigate parchment around it. Okay, so that's pretty good. And I've got my walnuts. Yeah, I don't think I did enough. I'm gonna put some whole walnuts on top just to make it prettier. I love a good garnish. I was talking about that in my picnic recipe, that a little bit of extra effort can go a long way in making someone feel special, I think. I can just slap this together, but taking the time to add a little extra element just looks nicer on the table. And I would rather just do things like this and celebrate life in the little things than always going for the big things. So I feel like that is enough. I am so tempted to add more chocolate in some form or fashion as well. I might have some chocolate knocking around that can be sacrificed for the effort. So got a little bit of Trader Joe's chocolate and some Lindt. So I think I'm gonna chop up this last little chunk of Trader Joe's and sprinkle on top, because that's a lot more than I thought it was. I don't know, because why not more with chocolate? So I think I'm gonna do the Lindt actually. I love to put candy bars like Reese's Cups or Snickers in brownies. They are so good. Not peanut allergy friendly, but still very delicious. But you can always use, I guess, a non-peanut or peanut butter containing chocolate bar. I feel like I need more chocolate right here and right there. You know, my brownies always have so much chocolate in them, it's almost like biting into a square of fudge. Okay, I think these look really pretty. So I'm gonna pop them in the oven, and for my glass pan, that is 43 to 48. So what I'm gonna do is set it for 43 and then check, and then I can always add more time. With other baked goods like cakes, you take a little toothpick and you go to the middle and make sure the toothpick is comes out clean, but brownies are a different animal. So when you take the toothpick and you go to the middle, what you want to do is basically pull out like a fudgy crumb. But if you go to the edge part, somewhere out here, you should see that the edges are pulling away, and if you do the toothpick check, it's going to work. So that's something else to keep in mind. All right, off to the oven. So my brownies are out of the oven, and the chocolate is all glossy, and the edges are firm, and they're starting to pull away. And I ended up cooking them for the full time recommended on the package. And in between the glossy bits of chocolate, the top of the brownies are crackling, and they smell fantastic. So I think my friends will be very happy. And that being said, I need to start winding down for bed, taking care of myself, getting out my ice packs, doing all the usual stuff to get some pain relief. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this quick little video, including some of my favorite little baking tips that I have accumulated over time, then give it a thumbs up and share it. And please subscribe, and cheers from Wine Country.